On this hunt, I'm in the Bitterroot range of western Montana during the closing days of the general elk season. The days are short, the wind is frigid, the hills are steep, but my buddy Remi is a mountain badass.
We just gotta kind of hustle and get into position on that ridge.
Let's just stick together and we can all get through this.
Does he count as a stink eye?
I'm Steven Ranella. To me, hunting isn't only about the pursuit of an animal. It's about who we are and what we're made of. I live to hunt and hunt to live. I am a meat eater.
Really windy. I just love the feeling of like no one else is around. All this out here as far as all roadless. It would take you months to walk across it.
Bitterroot Mountains, Montana. November, on the cusp of what will become a wicked winter that will lay waste to thousands of deer and elk across the West. This is called an over-the-counter general season public land hunt, meaning the area is open to pretty much anyone who wants to buy a tag, and that equates to healthy competition and wary elk. 90% of the hunters who come here go home empty-handed. Remi guides this country during the earlier and more predictable portions of the season. But now that he's done with that business, we're looking for some elk that we can call our own.
I don't know if the wind's gonna calm down.
Yeah, they may not.
As darkness turns to dawn, a mosaic of timbered slopes and open meadows appear all around us, but there is no sign of elk.
Start working our way in some of this timber, see what it's like up there.
Legally, our harvest is restricted to bulls whose antlers sport a brow tine, otherwise known as an eye guard. That rules out younger bulls that might only have spikes or antlers with just a simple fork at the end.
Most of the time, I honestly run into elk before I even get up here.
Long walk, dude.
We go a couple miles without finding these or any other kind of elk. But the fresh snow reveals plenty that has happened on this mountain over the recent days. The passing of both predators and prey written in a sort of hieroglyphics of the wild.
It's a good cow.
You see its tail dragging?
I love sharing these hills with a mountain lion, but other two-legged predators, not so much.
We spent the last 6 hours, we climbed 5,000 feet, and we get up here and there's a set of boot tracks, man. Like fresh boot tracks in the snow. Coming and going. So I don't know. There's a chance he went in and blew our area out. Maybe he was tracking a bull. I don't know.
Late morning fades to afternoon. All this while, we've been working our way towards some open hillsides, occasionally used by feeding elk at this time of year. Finally, we arrive.
Hey. See one? I think there's one down around the edge. Down beyond the roll. Yep. We just took a peek over the edge and we saw several elk. They're pretty far out and it's very windy, so you can't take a super long shot. So we just gotta try to get a little closer and let them feed out into the open. We're just gonna hug this timber edge down here and hope we find a place to get out on them.
It's just a tough situation right here. We have so little time, but maybe just try to make it to that ridge. And if they're there, they're there. If they're not, then back out and don't spook them.
The way this hill rolls, you can never get a satisfactory look at what's going on below you. If you rise up to see in the wrong place, you're gonna spook the elk and blow the whole hillside clean of animals. So Remi and I split up to reduce our collective footprint of odor and physical presence. I press on, painstakingly slow. I crouch, I crab walk, I hunker. My goal is to see the elk before the elk see me. I come with an archery range of several elk. All I can see are tops of heads and ears, more than enough to know that these are not legal bulls. The cows sense the presence of a predator in their midst, and mass confusion begins to break out. I scan head after head with my scope to my eye and my finger on the trigger, but this herd is nothing but bald heads and young spikes. No legal bulls. A month ago, I'd all but guarantee that a bull or several bulls would be lurking around this herd as a residual effect of the fall breeding season. But at this point in the annual cycle, the bulls have broken off. They're out there, somewhere else, hiding.
This group of cows. That was good though, that was good. A little reward at the end of the day. Now we got a long ass walk out of here.
Before I was born, my grandpa used to outfit up here.
Oh, really?
And he quit his regular job, moved to Montana. He actually shot his first 6-point bull on the other side of that farthest mountain.
No kidding.
Got me into hunting out here. He was pretty proud of that.
If I wanted to follow in my grandfather's footsteps, I would have had to have either been the president of a fire department or a produce deliverer, which was not my calling.
Seeing those cows and spikes yesterday was a positive sign. This morning, we're hoping to take things a step further and find a bull. It's still early morning, and we come across a big herd.
It's a huge group. You see any bulls in there?
From our vantage point, it's impossible to rule out the presence of a legal bull or two that might just be hanging around.
They bed on the other side, and it's hard to get them when they get in that burnt timber. So I think we should make a quick move on those ones.
There might be a bull.
It's worth it, yeah.
We work our way closer and then trail the elk to make sure there are no legal bulls lurking around the edge of the herd.
There's a bull in the back, but it might be a spike.
There's one big spike in there, but he doesn't have any brow tines or anything. One of those bulls has a branched antler.
Yeah, okay, I could have swore. I was like, I see it atop. At least we're seeing animals in a place where they're living.
The sun starts to set and the air temp plummets. Already, we're moving on to thinking about tomorrow. Yesterday's encounters have us feeling optimistic. Remi believes in the saying, never leave elk to find elk, so we're right back where we left off.
Wolf tracks.
It's a big doggy.
You see that lane?
Yeah.
I think that's a bull in the pines.
There's another one. 2 nice bulls. Looks like a 6-point, doesn't it? The bottom one.
Yeah, he looks like he's got a big old melon and a big old brack on him. Frankly, I don't really care. The legal bull is plenty bull for me right now, man.
Perfect.
What do you think we ought to try on those dudes?
Probably walk the ridge over, drop down this other timber line. There's a middle ridge that we could shoot from. I'd rather keep them in sight and be looking across than coming down on them.
Our babysitter's getting married, and I need burgers for 100.
Yeah, let's make a move. Try to shoot them both.
Those two elk are over 1,000 yards out, too far for responsible real-world shooting. We're looking to close that gap to a few hundred yards. We use the contours of the land and the bands of timber to conceal our movements as we slip in with the wind in our faces. We've already selected a small ridge that will be perfect to shoot from if the elk don't stray.
Is he giving us a stink eye? There he turned.
We just gotta kind of hustle and get into position on that ridge.
Hopefully they're still there.
Right.
When we get to our intended shooting position, the two bulls have dipped into a fold and are out of view. Or else, they split and they're out of the country. Betting on the former and not the latter, we settle in to wait them out.
At some point they'll start feeding out again.
Might not be till evening.
It's gonna be about a 6-hour wait, because days are pretty short. But depending on what the sun does, once the sun moves, it might irritate them enough to get up and get on the other side of the shade. When they do that, they'll probably be walking toward us.
I can't picture you getting warm enough to move right now.
I don't know, if the sun came out and you're wearing a giant fur coat, it might be different.
Oh, there he is, there he is. Don't move, don't move.
The first bull pops out. It's on the move, but we are waiting and hoping for the second bull to appear so we can try for both. But the first bull continues to work its way across and disappears into the timber below us. As soon as that happens, the second bull finally appears.
Hey Steve, the other one's in the trees and they're gonna come out. Do you wanna wait for them both to get in the trees and then reposition and get set up to shoot them both?
You just go ahead, Let's not waste the opportunity. That's a good job. Hit him before he gets to those trees.
In a perfect world, Remi's shot will spook that other bull up out of the trees and it'll step into the opening where I can get a crack at it. Remi hits the second bull. I hold tight, anticipating a chance at the first bull who came across the hillside. It seems like minutes, but it's probably only seconds, and I decide to nudge forward out of fear that the bull ran out in a different direction that I can't see. Just as I nudge forward though, the bull pops out right where he was supposed to. I try to turn a tree into a rifle rest and get tangled into it. Total dumbass move.
Try to hold him, Remi.
I struggle for a shot, but the bull hauls out and never slows enough for a reasonable chance.
Shoot.
Bull's long gone, man. There's no way he's gonna sit tight after that. Yeah, good job, man. That worked out pretty good.
Shoot, I was hoping we could have got that double though.
Well, I know.
That's hard sometimes.
Yeah. Never on elk, but I've had it be we're going for the old double and wound up with you getting nothing.
Yeah. A bird in hand, I guess.
Yeah.
He fell hard.
Yeah.
It's a heavy bull.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Nice, man.
Never seen that happen. Right at the base.
Yeah, I mean, be able to reattach that thing somehow.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
We'll tie his head to the base there and just swing him down this way and he'll be hanging right here. I never guided professionally, which I think of as a gap in my experiences with hunting. So I pestered my guiding buddies with questions about their occupation, especially Remi, who shows no signs of slowing down.
This is a good morning when a plan comes together too early.
I don't really know this. How many years you been guiding?
Well, I've had my own outfitting business. Next year will be my 10th year. And I guided for 4 or 5 years before that.
How do you battle the feeling of it just becomes work after a while?
I mean, even like on the first day of a hunt when I have clients in, I can barely sleep. I'm just excited still every time because I know that I can come out and get an elk. You know, it's not a problem. But to get someone else an elk that might not have the same capabilities or whatever, it's more of a challenge.
Does it feel different like today when you're actually hunting? Does it feel fundamentally different to you to be guiding or hunting, or does it just feel kind of like just like different versions of the same thing?
I kind of gain all my knowledge of the area and everything while I'm guiding. So when I come out here, it's like, okay, I get to put it to use for myself this time. Yeah. You know? So, and just sometimes when I'm guiding, I think, oh, if I was hunting, I would have had that. And now it's kind of like to test to that theory is, would I have had it? Would I have done it different? Would I have been successful that day?
I've never guided, but I've taken a lot of people out. People feel like they're gonna solve a bunch of problems by through equipment choices, you know?
Yeah.
When I'm always thinking, man, you need to be just getting used to walking.
Yeah, walking a lot and not wearing cotton stuff. When I started out guiding, everybody would show up with like cotton because there wasn't all kinds of good gear and stuff, so it was just completely different. And sweating the whole time and then freezing all day.
Yep.
But yeah.
That's what my old man talked about. When he started hunting after World War II, he said, you know, there wasn't sporting goods.
No.
They all hunted in the same stuff they fought in Europe in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he said, like, kind of after that, but he goes, but you didn't, like, go buy, like, hunting clothes.
You just bought, like, army surplus stuff.
Yeah, it was like, you just, you know, that was the top. He goes, that stuff was, like, cutting edge, top of the line, basically wool.
Right.
Basically
the
green
best there
wool
was.
Yeah, it was like, that was the stuff to hunt in, man. What's the biggest thing that holds clients back from getting elk? Is it physical fitness?
Yeah, physical fitness and shooting. Like most people don't practice in the mountains or some people don't even have, you know, hills or mountains or angles, and then hiking all day and then being ready to shoot in uncomfortable situations. You know, it's not always set up as nice as you'd like the ones today. Do you normally leave this meat on the ribs, or do you take it off?
I usually take the flank, or whatever you call that, off, and then do the ribs.
That's easier when you only have one antler.
Yeah. We're headed back to Remi's to hang and cool the meat. We've got loaded packs and it's an uphill climb. Some guys dread it, but there's something about it that feels awfully good. This is our last chance on this trip to find me an elk, and we know we could be out hunting until dark. We want to have a meal ready for us when we get back, so well before dawn, Remi removes a shank from one of the elk quarters. This is typically a tough cut of meat, but we're gonna put it in a slow cooker. It will turn to butter. The beauty of slow cooking is the simplicity. With a few chopped and sauteed vegetables, a piece of meat salted and browned, and an abundance of hours, you can walk away and let the time and low temperature do the rest of the work. To finish the prep, we add oregano, salt, and pepper, and a little bit of flour to the vegetable mixture. Toss this in the slow cooker with a can of tomatoes and add the browned meat. top it off with stock, put the lid on, set the timer, and step outside. I won't bore you with the details of our last day. Suffice it to say, we came up empty-handed. But at least we've got a hot and high-quality meal waiting for us back at Remi's place. If I was king of the world, I would make it that it would be illegal to not use your shanks.
I agree with that.
Now look at here. Toughest part of the animal, right? But look,
It's tender.
it's like magic.
It looks good. Really good.
But man, you would never in a million years guess that like a shank, right, would turn into that.
That's a good cut of meat. It's better than a steak. Sometimes roasts get really dry. It's not dry at all.
I went most of my life without knowing that you could turn a shank into that.
Yeah, it's one of the best cuts as far as slow cooking goes.
Then anything like up here on the shoulders, shanks, neck, I like to slow cook all that stuff.
It's good.
Yeah, it's like geology, man. Pressure and time reduces that thing down. I got a family of 5, right? Wife, 3 kids. There's no way we'd get through this thing in one sitting.
I'm just gonna be eating on that for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Probably be good like scrambled up in eggs too.
That would be very good.
You know,
like
a little
corned beef
shredded meat.
hash.
Yeah.
Corn shank hash. Remi, if it wasn't so played out and so many people hadn't already thought of it, I would say shanks a lot.
Shanks a lot to you too.